Twisted Minds that was so damn dominant just across everything. And I don't think there's a lot of other teams in the lobby that feel the same way. But that some of the best PUBG you'll ever see was played by those boys last year in 2024. But it was a slow start to the year, and now they seem to be finding their groove once again. But we are headed back over to those dusty dunes, my favorite map in all of PUBG, the country over in Miramar.
Exactly. Taking a look here at Campo Militar. Going there, unlikely. Have you been there before? Yes, once or twice, but it's highly doubtful that that's where we will end this game. In the meantime, though, Mina's high risk, I would say, in comparison. As we take to the sky here, last plane was a southern one. You know what? We'll give them yet another.
Tell you what, man, all these teams in the running for that top spot. It's time to see what these men are built of. If they've got it in them, if they got that dog in them for the final leg of the hunt.
Yep.
Because it is going to be absolute barn burners all the way until the end. And this is starting pretty rough, I gotta say.
Plane.
That's another hard southern plane.
When even power grid is a stretch, you know you're in for a hard time coming looting. So a look down towards the south and see teams all dropping. Falcons already down towards Prison Island. They have changed the game, of course, in their usual resort split further towards the east. But with a southern plane, usually a somewhat southern circle comes to follow. So maybe, despite them having to alternate their drop spots, they will be blessed with a circle going in their direction.
Tell you what, at least we're not going Pozo again.
Valid. Yeah,
at least we got.
Yeah, you're right. We could be going Impala.
Going
we could be going Impala, which we've been in quite a few times, or in and around that area at least, through this tournament thus far. Let's see where this circle is going. You know what? Let's count it down. Here we have it, as southeast as can be. That's water.
That is well, it is. It is in fact a lot of water.
I'm just throwing it out there. A subtle Grand Finals last day Los Leones ending.
I mean, look, we have seen crazier things. And,
that is true.
And having it hard shift all the way back up to the west constantly, over and over again. We have seen back to back to back to back hard shifts. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
Not at all.
You got to look at Virtus.pro starting things off in Los Leones. They've got Nixie down to the south as well. We'll see where they decide to play this one. This could set up nicely for them to make a little climb here. And not as many of those compounds like bricks that we saw in El Pozo in this part of the map where if you take it, you can sit in it, and you're not going to get a lot of kills, but you're safe to make it to the end. Not as much of that around this side of the map.
Exactly. It's you commit pretty early. Hope circles go your way, and if they don't, it's going to be a hard time. Twisted Minds already setting up an E-pickup. You see it here, Lou, having put the balloon in the air, calling his teammate, going, guys,
got a vest.
You have a minute. You have a minute. He got himself a vest as well. Interesting to see where they're going to end up setting up shop, because as you're saying, they are very limited on supplies. So you'd have to imagine they're going to go for a maybe 2 compound split down towards the coastline and set up there, because again, I mean, a shotgun for Lou, 4 bullets to work with. Guys, what are you hoping to get to as you make landfall? We'll, of course, keep track of this rotation coming in. But as we do so, Poro, I want to highlight one thing that I think is pretty important. Of course, we'll all look at All Gamers Global specifically down in 16th and how that's an underperformance. But we're talking about it during the break as well. APAC as a whole, their best team right now is in 11th. We're talking PGC champions. We're talking Vietnam winning PNC. We have been talking about APAC as arguably right now the strongest, if not maybe in the top 2 strongest region in the world with recent results. They have not shown up at all in the Grand Finals.
I mean, it's been tough. It's definitely been tough, and you know, I don't think that this is a trend back in the wrong direction for them. Everybody is going to have rough events. It's just
no doubt
that they all 3 teams from that region had a rough event this time. But once we get to PGSs, I don't think anybody's writing them off just yet. Is what I'm trying to say. But it's definitely been nothing to write home about for them. But keep an eye on Twisted as we watch Falcons. Falcons getting a little close to Gen.G, but guys on Twisted, where are they going to go? Now remember, Third on 5 got pushed away and pushed all the way over to Puerto Pareso. by Virtus.pro, where they have already looted up. And it looks like Twisted Minds
going all the way Portal?
Yeah, it looks like they will. And they actually get a little bit lucky, too, because there were 2 members of Theraton 5 that were just in Puerto moments ago, but they have now left, and they're starting to make their way towards the center of the circle.
Yeah, 2 people going towards the city proper. Lou, an example, going down towards the coastline, hopefully trying to find a vehicle, but I'm not sure they're going to get a whole lot, because as you were saying before, Theraton 5 has been down in and around this area, so there might not be a whole lot to claim.
Got a boat?
For the boys with the big pink brain.
See, they
got a boat?
Fun, yeah.
Sure.
Easy rotate.
That's a win con. I agree. I agree. They have it good now. And you know what? Batulans gets to pick up an M16. Oh, wait. That's next patch. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the Expendables, meanwhile, they'll take that high ground position just to the south of Los Leones, and they have spotted out Ranger X, who is all by himself and 1 bullet shy. Only 8 HP left on Fluky.
And this is where it gets dangerous. You only hear 1 gun shooting. I mean, the rest of Expendables are pulling up right now. They should, for the sake of comfort, have been here early, because now that might actually allow for Ranger X to get away. I like that they're just going for the tires. Exactly. 2 of them popped already. More shots coming through as Ranger X gets to run away with under half HP. But nice disengage here. But Theraton 5 I might have spoken. Oh no, Floki able to get over as well.
Just right on the edge of the sandstorm as well.
Yeah.
And that actually might help him out, because you can see Change of the Game was starting to sneak over in this direction as well. They're looking, and they're not going to spot anything. So Theraton 5 will be able to escape. Pull that one off as the Expendables will take a few more passing shots into Fluky on his retreat.
But you know what? And it's so basic for people that are accustomed to watching competitive PUBG, but we see it so often in the lower levels of competitive PUBG that they don't have their cars parked the right place. They don't have an exit plan if forced to leave. You don't have that fire escape ready to pull out immediately. Theraton 5 did. Many other teams would have lost 2 players in that exact situation, but they had their cars parked smart.
Yep.
They were wise about it, and therefore they get to live with 4 players up. So a good note for you guys at home. It takes 2 more seconds to park your car smart. Do like Theraton 5 did. That way you get to live longer.
And also knowing when to leave.
Exactly.
And not trying to stick around and say, oh, well, maybe I can fight this. Well, you don't have the information to know if you can fight this, right? So the better thing is run away and fight another day.
Yes, sir. It has won teams tournaments before.
It has indeed. It has indeed. Well, we can see the Falcons on the coastline. GSW, they're taking their sweet, sweet time coming in from the north, just passing through the mountains to the south of San Martin.
Should we tell them the circle is the other direction? They'll figure it out eventually. They'll get there.
He's got the blue pack on. He's good.
They'll be fine. I think, you know what, honestly, I like
first stage. He's vibing.
Hold that thought for a second. We talked about great escapes. Falcons in a 2-2 split. Issue is there's a 3-1 on the side of Gen.G. They have the numbers advantage. Kick is nowhere near, and H-Win is all the way down the shoreline as well. But you know what? Once again, in the cars, get away as fast as you can. Once again, a team doing a great showing of holy double headshot kickstart. What was that?
My man is cracked.
He's warm.
Don't ever peek a wall around him again. But you know what? That was his job. His job is to make sure that nobody gets any free shots down on his teammates, and he put him on his behind.
That was a sit-down type of moment. You know what I mean? He is to be respected. He's on this team for a reason. He knows what he needs to do in order to get this team through, and preferably up on that first spot by the end of the day.
And all I'm saying is, if you ever need somebody to watch your back in a haunted house,
he did a good job.
Kickstarts that boy.
I will say he did get scared a couple of times, so but that was never from the flank.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't from the flank. It was from straight.
He had the flank covered.
Well, there you go, GSW. You wanted to know how they were going to get down here. They just were repositioning for the E-pickup to make sure that they had the perfect angle of that helicopter. Another thing that you can take into your own games.
Perfect angle, but also perfect timing. They're going to hit the circle right as the blue goes all the way in and reveals the new circle. And in doing so, should we get a Los Leones circle, they're going to be one of the first teams in the city proper. And if not, then flying in towards a compound wherever this next circle goes, they might catch teams that haven't opted to group up yet. So look for game start win and see where they're going. In the meantime, Rock as well. a little unaccustomed to wide rotations, but they too are rotating through Chuma right now. Of course, not in a hurry at all to get to the circle. What do you mean?
Rock, unaccustomed? Are you saying that they find themselves in the circle a lot?
No.
No. We would never.
No. You know what? In their defense, they actually have been shifted away from in a couple of first circles, then found themselves a good spot to lock down after that. But they're taking their time here, of course. It's a second place position for them, so no reason whatsoever to be overly risky. And you know what? To make things even smarter for them, they're popping a E pickup here as well.
Do it. And again, going for that good angle.
A Los Leones circle here would be so chaotic. There's one player in Los Leones.
Look at the split from All Gamers on the north side. They're so close to Toyo. If anything cuts off to the north, where are we going?
Wow.
Okay, a lot of water still in, man. It's not Los Leones, but it is still a lot of unplayable. But the good thing about this part of the map for a lot of these teams is that elevation change and a lot of different dips that you can kind of find. So you can kind of avoid putting yourself right in the line of sight of a full squad.
Exactly. The most important thing right now is literally all teams that are rotating into this circle are coming from the north. Look at the southwest. Resort is free. Everything is free. This entire server now is going to be fighting for half. Make that a quarter circle because half of it is water. We're going to see a lot of teams eliminated, or at least a lot of players eliminated in this circle, because the teams that are currently center aren't going to dip further towards the west. They're not going to back off. So this east side is going to get ugly real fast.
Right now, the coastline getting a little bit ugly as GSW, they did take their E pickup. They drop on that southern coast, and they are getting ripped to shreds right now. Kickstart gets one. Kickstart gets Tickleton gets one. Tiantan got one. And now all of a sudden, GSW is in absolute shambles.
Yep. Tried to make landfall, caught the split, and doing so nicely because they have Falcons in the split, but Tick and Kick were ready for the push come through. Having said that, one has made it down. You still have CC in this building, but you can see they're trying to fortify. CC, it's on you, bro. How do you manage to get any points off of this? Answer is you don't.
You do not. Falcons cleaning up and holding their territory very, very well, very, very easily, taking no knocks. Meanwhile, Na'Vi having a little bit of trouble dispatching with Gen.G. And now the rest of the boys have arrived. Akatori will go down, but Extends will try to keep things going for his squad. It's not going to work, though. Gen.G will take down Na'Vi, and only by 9 HP does Gen.G stay alive.
What a close endeavor then for a very, very central compound that could be a winning compound. If any surrounding team has caught on to what just happened here and the circles keep going this direction, they should know it's a two-man team sat in the circle center.
Well, it is right in the middle of a 2-2 split from Change the Game, and now Hanvu and the rest of the Expendables, they're making their way down south trying to find a place to play. VP, meanwhile, holding on to that north side. They're
crashing. They're going for it.
TE is going to crash onto that Gen.G compound. Oh, they are already going to lose one as Flame will take down one. Orca finds another. Gen.G playing tower defense here to perfection.
Not in favor right now, as we see here. Orca trying to swing around the corner, able to get one. Can he get close as well with the drop down sword of Orca, you absolute beast!
Orca is him! 434 damage, 8 kills for Gen.G, and they maintain control of their compound in the dead center of the circle.
If there is a time for the reawakening of Gen.G here in the finals, Orca and Flame just made that happen.
My man just escaped his enclosure. He's swimming out in the ocean with impunity.
Who dares to go
freedom.
now?
You saw the freaks started kind of driving up in that direction and then immediately went down. They're like, you know what? I don't think I want that smoke. And VP, oh no, that is a flipped coupe, and they are not going anywhere.
They're out in the open too. This is
get in there.
This is costly. Let's see next circle. Will it go towards Gen.G once more? It can still go coastal. We're only in phase 2. We can claim even more water into this one, and you know what? We'll take 60% land, 40% water. That's as best as we're gonna get it. But right now, for the freaks, they had a good reawakening themselves in the final game of yesterday on Miramar as well. So for the final Miramar of the tournament, let's see if they can make something happen.
Tell you what, Gen.G just opened up. Orca pretty much by himself just opened up a lot of free space now in this zone, down to just 46 alive as Virtus.pro continue to make their way down, but they've got Third on 5 on their backs on foot. So Virtus.pro, they're going to have to get on the move, try to find a place to call home because they are in a little bit of trouble. It looks like Petrichor Road is also going to be taken down. So down to just 44 alive, as we still have a number of teams off to the northeast that are trying to make their way in, but they're fighting the whole way down.
And that's the issue, right? As we were saying in the first or the second circle pop, I should say, all these teams that are coming in northeast, you can't really do a whole lot to wrap around. The only team successful in doing so right now is actually 17 Gaming. Rock has backfilled, nicely so, taking control over Resort, but 17 are coming over towards their side of the circle, knowing full well that if you go east, it's dead man's land. If you go west, there might actually be space to play.
You see Toyo trying to get rid of all gamers. They've got them pinned down, and they got to be they're being careful about how they do it, because Twisted Minds is also looking off in that direction. But then Falcons is now inside the circle looking at Twisted Minds. So a lot of stuff going on that eastern side. As we see Virtus.pro, looks like they are now aware that Third on 5 is up there. They also see Change the Game trying to make moves. Change the Game having to they're trying to avoid not only Virtus.pro but also Gen.G, as T1 has now found an angle on Virtus.pro.
Nixie does get flushed, caught out somewhat in the open. Not a whole lot he can do. There's the upside down vehicle of BP from earlier. As Third on 5. They're still on foot, trying to run further towards the east. But again, their issue too is, even though they're not inside circle yet, they can't just look inward. They know there's stuff happening behind them. They have to be ready for some of these solos, for some of these full teams, as a matter of fact, coming their way. And here is Toyo heading straight towards Third on 5.
You know what's weird here is that Toyo is leaving. They're going up there. They're going into Third on 5, right? But All Gamers Global was in Puerto Pareso. Destroy is still alive down there, and there's an emergency res beacon, a res beacon there. So I'm curious to see if he was able to collect the chips of his teammates, and if he does, and if he's able to get them off, there's still some compounds on the south that they could play with. But Falcons are doing a little gatekeeping of their own. Let's listen into what they have to say.
Yeah, there's so much
guys,
lethal.
They're going to come fight me.
Yeah, they're going to play a gut line.
Slow it down, Matt. I have to grab lethal on the bodies.
Careful of a guy being a giga.
This guy's just driving straight up to me.
Yeah.
You guys should drive straight up to Matt right now. I'm gonna anchor the compound from the roof along, and then you guys should just play on Kickers 3, okay?
Okay, can you mark a body for me?
Loot later.
Guys, we need to fight them.
I'm coming to you.
Faster the better.
How do we fight
just go up to them. We
Just
don't need
come to my
ridge.
Okay, Roger, coming. One of them can wrap in behind us, so we just...
When we give up our edge, fuck.
Where they at?
Are we just formatting this?
We're going to try to wipe them. Where they at? I don't know. They're just over this ridge. One's on the left by the shack. Watch out for nades.
I have double BZ.
He's speaking me from the green.
Is that twisted? Or
Yeah.
100%?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
T5's on the other side of them.
Okay, come to me.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to double BZ this guy's shack.
The right here is... You need to hold it as well. Hold that H1. Okay, I will.
Come out to my ridge.
Yeah, from this ridge.
They're killing T5.
Yeah, this is not 100% twisted.
This is 100% twisted.
He just killed
us.
Okay,
I'm
using shack now.
He's not in it for sure, right?
Yeah, just go run up peek it.
Is our yellow double white
I don't
clear?
see them at all.
Is there any chance yellow's clear, boys?
While they don't manage to catch Twisted, I love their aggressive playstyle here. They know we have to take the fights on the edge before the circle closes in. We can't be running shoulder to shoulder fighting for circles. We need to clear out. We need to make space for ourselves first. And the teams they're hunting, Twisted Minds, taking fights right in front of them right now. Look for Falcons to engage in this real soon, as Third on 5 is having a hard time dealing with Twisted Minds. Petulance, though, falls down to Rossington.
And they've got Toyo now arriving as well. Whoa! And what happened there? Goodness. In a span of a couple of grenades, 3 teams get wiped off the map. 34 left alive. Capitan is still alive. Emmy is off to the south. He's trying to make his way in. Falcons, they didn't even get a chance to come over here third party. It was over so fast.
He fell over as the nade went out of his hand. He took down 2 from Twisted with him. And Falcons, thinking they had come up and do all the dirty work themselves, can now push back down the hill for a little bit and make some space for themselves.
While all that was happening, while we had to listen in, All Gamers got all of their men back. And they landed into Resort right on the backs of Rock, and they did not see them. They took out Solds, and now they are making their way into the circle as Falcons try to clean up what's left here on the east side.
Emmy has snuck in, destroys around this area as well. Falcons not aware if there's at least not yet. Shots being fired on Emmy. Crucial, though, for Falcons that Heaven is aware on the other side of the circle. Able to help out Falcons there, keep H1 alive, but there's still one more snake in their midst.
There is Destroy just on the other side of that mountain, but he is trying to play it quiet, play it clean. Correxy will spot out Kickstart. Won't be able to get the flush, it doesn't look like. Though. It's okay, Tycon. He doesn't have much loot, but with the loot that he has found Santastico, and that is a big knock.
What a great move. We get to the Reaper here for the nade. I just want to see an example down to low HP. Batulin stays on foot. Perfect scope for the flush. Gets him as well, down to low HP as well. And then comes the nade. Boom. Oh, wow. Right as he falls. Capitan falls the second after. Huge moment for Toyo.
I am so glad they got a replay of that because everything happened so fast.
Yes, thank you, observers.
All gamers now, after getting that knock on the Santastico, RBN, the last player alive for Rock, and now 17 is starting to hover around in this area. But how long does 17 want to spend cleaning this up when the circle has popped and it's moved off to the east? 17 will spot out Tycon, and that will take him down. Destroy still off in the east, so not a part of this fight, and he will go down to the blue.
Not a whole lot he can do here, unfortunately for him, but as you said before, he was able, I mean, he did what he had to. He got 3 teammates back in the game. Haisagi, Himas still alive. Himas in a potential 1v1 with Xiao Wu, two of the best mechanical players in the game. Xiao Wu out victorious. Not sure if Himas had anything to work with, to be honest, but nonetheless, Xiao Wu stays alive, Destroy falls as well, so now it's up to Haisagi to see how long he can keep the All Gamers Global teams alive.
Virtus.pro causing all types of problems for Falcons here. They will at least be able to get out of there, but H-Win gonna lose track of his Bronco, and Salute gonna get the knock onto Tiggleton, and Haisaki does get spotted out by Xiao Wu, so now, finally, All Gamers is completely eliminated as Falcons try to take the fight to. Just don't. Just don't. I'm just going to tell you right now, boys, this is not the compound you want.
They get a buff when they're 2v4. I see Strimsy with a Panzer in hand. Over last game, I get a little nervous instantly. We'll see if they've learned the lesson. Whatever was shown on the phone in the break
1 HP
between the games, hopefully it was how to do this one right, as Virtus.pro now well aware that Falcons are pinned down here on the eastern side. They want to take them out and push forward themselves. H-Win down once again. It's Gen.G, despite being outnumbered, applying so much pressure to Falcons.
And Orca is eaten right now. He does get that one stolen away from him. Unfortunately, Rock Esports does go down, so that's another team at the top of our leaderboard that's taken away. His Tiggleton is going to get spotted out by Heaven. Flame will try to protect this house once again, as Lucarux has now come to join the party.
Gen.G staying alive for all of this. Freaks now coming down here as well. Both VP and Freaks want this eastern side of the circle completely cleared. Issue for Freaks is the only 2 guys here. Deal and Human are still over on the western side of the road, so they can't fully commit to it. Falcons, not in a good position to fully commit to the building, allows for Gen.G to stay alive for longer.
I tell you what, man, I went to the haunted house with those Falcons, boy. That was nothing compared to this house right here. This is the house of horrors right here on Miramar. Don't go in it. Orca and Flame have got this locked down.
Can we get a killer whale, like, in flames on the outside as a graffiti on this building?
We should.
Because I feel like they deserve it. They've been withstanding pressure here for a long time. Now they're going to leave. We'll see if their buff goes with them as they're forced out into the open. Of course, for Virtus.pro, for the teams in the south as well, they need to figure, where do we play this from? Because CTG, while they haven't had a good time, they know how to frag. They proved it to us in the group stages, and they have themselves control of the northern circle.
And unfortunately for Virtus.pro, CTG was looking over in their direction as they try to make moves. It's down to just Beamy and Lucarux. Lil Ghost also creeping around in that area. Flame and Orca have left their compound. They're trying to avoid the south because that is where Salute and Heaven were holding things down. Freaks, 3 kills so far, and they have to make their way into the south side. T1, we haven't really talked about them, but they've had a compound in the center of the circle for a long time, but now they're leaving, and they're starting to wrap around on the south.
It's not an easy time for them at all here. Focusing on the south, though, smart on them is only Deal down here towards the south that are really in a position to do a whole lot. They're 2-man pushing this as well down towards the south. Deal falls here, which he does to a nade from Type. That opens up this south side defense for DN Freak, so could be a Korean battle on the southern side here, while the remaining 3 teams, 4 teams make that fight for the north.
All right, Beamy and Lucarux have made their way across the road as CTG starting to slow things down a little bit. 17 have brought everybody up to the northwest. And T1, meanwhile, it doesn't look like they're too interested in overextending from where they are on the southwest. Freaks will just hold the line for the time being, as it looks like things will slow down for the time.
And this is the issue. There's nothing to claim in the circle center. Knowing there's control in the north and the south, you can't play in the open in the middle at all. That's why everyone's so hesitant. Come on, compounds. Leave. Come out and join the rest of us. This is no fun. We can't play the circle when you guys are hiding in the buildings.
So Lilgo's going to be the first one to try to make a run towards something in the middle. And it looks like he's at least found a ridge line to play around with.
Grenade.
As the grenade going to fall just shy of Luca, gets him down to 56 HP. And these guys are in trouble. They're going to work around the edges of those smokes as best they can, but that is a FAMAS in the hands of Wenbo, and he is just looking over in that direction. Remember, Wenbo absolutely popped off in the group stages, and that is a scary man to have to push.
Yes, they've been set in this building, but look at the pressure they've been applied. Wenbo has no kills, but almost 500 damage. In the meantime,
look at this. This is what they're forced to do at this point.
Once upon a time, they were known as Virtus.pro. Is that going to be the case here? Or are they going to be shut down immediately? 7-7 finds the first one. Look at Roxine. The nade should be able to. Yes. Take him down. So 7-7 might fall, but takes down Virtus.pro with him.
Hey, they lose 7-7-0 in the process, though. T1 working their way out to the north now. They're finding angles. They're going to find Lilgos now as well. So Xiaowu, Xiaobei, the last two left alive, and CTG now leaving their compound. Gen.G, meanwhile, creeping in. They're finding the south side of that same compound that CTG was just in.
And to line up for a perfect grand final day, look at the leaderboard. Look who's alive. It's all the teams on the hunt. They all know the importance of coming out victorious. Yes, they continue. Gen.G.
Who are they?
They have found it. They know what to do. Lose 2, and all of a sudden you get yourself a 10-kill game.
Who are these men's?
Also, everyone talks about Tosi. Everyone talks about Beam. Flame and Orca, they're sat next to each other, fist bumping, going, guys, it's our time to shine.
Look, Orca showed out during the Korean qualifier, indeed, along with Bean. But right now, it has been, they haven't really found that same magic so far this tournament, but they are finding it here today as they will continue their reign of terror. Change the game, though. They are looking over in this direction. That has always been a hard kind of compound to push here, so they got to be careful.
No doubt about it. As we see, change the game, trying to fend off, but they're the ones that have to push in. Do they dare to push this super duo of Gen.G Orca, though?
Too many.
One more will fall in the hands of the MP5 of Jianchan. In the end, they go down, but if you talk salvage games, that might be one of the best salvage games we've ever seen.
Yes, that was something else.
Wow.
What a performance from Gen.G. As they'll find themselves, they're now in 9th place, and they're in the same boat as a lot of these other teams. Just one more good game out of being in contention as T1 starting to make their way up to the north. It's all down to Xiaowu, who is hiding for as long as he can within a ditch.
Yeah, they don't know where they have him. Got to use some of this utility and try and clear your way forward. I love this flank around from Heather. Try and see if he can get the off angle, but also got to care that you don't overextend too far. As one does fall, the trade comes immediately in return, and now T1 might actually want to go up and clean up issues into a compound, outside circle, fall back, hold it smart, play it smart. Let Freaks try and take that fight north if they want to. Great, not hesitation, but great decision to fall back on this one by T1.
Absolutely, Wimbo going to get back on his feet as well. Change the game, not out of it just yet. Raining, still looking over in that direction. It's on Ares to try to make sure that these guys don't overstep their bounds. Salute, with grenade in hand, but opts for the better. Heather going to spot out Tianchan, though, as now the spray comes through and change the game. Down to just 2. The circle will pop. It's going to favor Freaks. T1 still trying to collect a little bit more in the terms of points on this northern side.
Type goes down. Wenbo knows that he has Heather just on the other side. FAMAS up close. It's a dangerous weapon. Can Wenbo make something happen? No! Heather dodges, weaves, finds Wenbo despite the level 3 gear, despite the FAMAS, still comes out victorious.
Flying like a butterfly as he avoids every shot coming his way. Ares now the last player left alive for Change the Game as Korea stepping up here in game number 2. We haven't heard a lot from them so far, but they are speaking loudly here on Miramar on the second day of Grand Finals.
3v2, Nox potentially resible. Type falling back, but not going to get to safety. Rainin now the next one on the chopping block. A Salute pushes on forward. Former world champion held by Heaven as the push comes through. Now it's just Heather
Ares
left alive, but Ares, he snuck around. I'm completely bammed. I did not realize this at all. I thought we were down to just the 2, but Aries able to sneak around the corner, will be found in the end, though.
Tried to go for the spray, tried to see if he could get a knock there to open things up, but it doesn't happen. Heather now the last one left alive for T1 in a 1v3. The Freaks just need to make sure that they don't give this man 3 1v1s. Come at him as a group and make sure you clean this up and claim your victory.
And that's the danger here, because it's so much easier said than done with the ridge lines, with how he can duck and weave. We just saw what he did against Wenbo.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get a perfect isolated angle here, you are good. They have 1 flash to work with. 8 smokes to slow things down, but they don't want to give him the space. Right now, they're saying, I mean, Heather, you have to come to us. The circle is going to go towards the southeast of where you currently are. You have to go out in the open. And he has 1 piece of lethal util, which is a molly. They know exactly where they have him. Heather, you need magic to make this happen.
It would all start off with a knock here. If he can get 1 knock, that's all you got to think about right here. Don't think about anything else.
They are split in his favor.
They are. And if he can, Salute though. Salute's trying to be creepy. He's coming up behind him and he's gonna get him. And DN Freaks get their first victory here in the grand final.
It's a repeat of yesterday. They weren't able to do a whole lot on the day, but on the final day of Miramar, they stood strong, and they do so here again today. Issue for them is, yes, they climb up the board, but there are no Miramars left for them to try and earn more. So while this is a great game for the Freaks, they need to continue with this momentum coming into the remaining 4 matches.
The first 2 games have delivered in a big way, and nobody has been able to separate themselves completely from the pack, and the pack is only growing bigger. Now you can include DN Freaks. Now you can include T1. Even Falcons are still in there with 51 points, but they need to start finding something here soon. Once we get to the so-called wild card maps, you don't want to leave everything to the end. You got 4